Hi, today I want to share with you 3 things that can make your relationships better. I am Kenesha Berry. I am a relationship life coach. I help people get clear about who they are so they can create the relationships, the love, the life that they really want. And so, what I've learned over the years of my practice, coaching hundreds of people, doing lots of research, is that many times we enter into relationships without the clarity of who we are because we're so busy looking for something that we believe is missing in our life. And instead of looking within, we look to other people to provide that very thing that we think we need. And so, step number one of improving your relationships is I want you to get extremely clear about who you are. Now, this is a process, it won't happen overnight. But I want you to at least be honest with yourself first about who you are. And when I say who you are, I'm not talking about, some people, we like to believe that we are, well, I'm so kind, I'm giving, I'm loving. First of all, if you are loving and you're showing up in relationships as a loving being, do you give love just for the sake of getting it back? Or do you give love because it's absolutely who you are and you can't withhold love? And so you just give it and you give it with no strings attached. That's a big one. And I know that's hard for most people. And the ideal of that might even sound crazy. But understand, in order to improve your relationships, whether that's with your parent, with your spouse, your mate, with your hopefuls, I always call those people that you hope to be in a relationship. In order to begin to improve those relationships, it's the clarity of you that's going to help, because in every relationship that you're in, there you are. And I know you like to think, or we like to think, that it's them. If they would change, if they would um, do what I want them to do, if they would see things differently, my life would be better. But again, there you are in that relationship. So you have to know who you are. How are you showing up? Are you showing up loving, kind, peaceful, patient? Or are you showing up emotionally needy? And because even without the full awakening and the awareness to that deep need that you may be having, it finds a way to ooze out. And if you come across as emotionally needy, you will begin to, one, almost accept anything in a relationship. You will connect to people honestly, from your hunger. It's like when people are hungry, at the beginning of the year, everyone starts a diet. And we all do well on our diet until we're hungry. And if you don't have a plan before you get hungry, you will eat anything because you're starving. Your body just wants something to make the pain of hunger go away. It's the same thing in our relationships. When you're not clear about who you are and you don't have a plan, which is point number 2, we'll come to that. If you don't have a plan for relationships, then you will be so hungry that whatever comes your way, however people show up, that deep need that maybe you're not even aware of will attach to that person. And then you would think that maybe this is the one, or this relationship should be better or different than the last ones, because your need of hunger is so intense that you're so focused on getting that hunger spot, that pain, taken away, that you're not aware of what's really happening. So that's why I want you to spend time getting clear about who you are. Who are you bringing to relationships? Are you emotionally hungry? Are you starving for attention? Is there a need inside of you that needs some attending to before you connect with others and get in a relationship? So that's number 1. Number 2, I mentioned it earlier, having a plan. Do you have a clear vision for relationships? Whether that's your work environment, in relationships with a loved one, with mates, with that, so-called special someone. Do you have a vision? And is your vision only based on your happiness? Listen to me. There is not a relationship on earth that was designed to make you happy. And I know that may be hard to hear. Like, people are so into the fairy tale of love. They are so into the belief about if I meet the right person, I will be happy. It's not true. You have to think about it this way. Relationships are two people, most of the time. I know we live in a different society, that come together and try to build something together. Now, these two people come from two different worlds, two different universes in the sense of how they was raised, what they think, their experiences. All of that is coming with them into the relationship. Another reason why you should really work hard on understanding who you are. What are you bringing with you into the relationship? So you show up with all of your stuff from your past, with all of your way of thinking, with all of the way that you've seen things done, and you mash that with someone else, and you really think what's going to bloom from that is happiness? No. What's going to bloom from that is the need to grow. And so you have to begin to have a vision and a plan for your relationships, even your work relationships. Like, go into your jobs, into your companies with a bigger vision than I'm just going to go to work, get the work done, and get along with everyone. You will not get along with everyone. There are going to be people in that environment that is going to be challenging you to mature mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And this is how you begin to grow to that person that you want to be, to maybe get that promotion. So we have to learn to shift the way we think about relationships and get a clear vision about what we want to see that is not solely self-centered about your happiness. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to expand the way you think of relationships, to enter into particularly marriage with a vision, and again, not a vision of, oh, we're just going to get along and we're going to be happy, but a bigger vision. So here's what I mean by that. I'll share an example from my marriage. 12 years in the marriage, I began marriage without a vision because I didn't know about this way of thinking. 12 years into marriage, my husband and I hit a crisis. We realized that our marriage was about more than our happiness. We had spent 12 years trying to be happy, having happy moments, but ultimately, overall, there wasn't a happy marriage. And then we began to realize this marriage was about more than our happiness. It was about our growth. And then we've got a vision for our marriage, but for our family. And when we did that, it changed everything. And so it gave us a bigger focus than our individual, independently happy, where we pulling at each other, trying to get from each other the very thing that we need to, one, get from God, and two, get from ourselves so that we have it to give out. And so our vision became about what kind of family or life did we want to establish for our kids? What things did we bring from our past, generational thoughts, patterns that need to be broken with us so that our children don't pick that up? Our marriage became about something way bigger than us and our happiness. Like, what trajectory do we need to place so that our children have a bigger belief and thought about relationships, about marriage, about money, about wealth? How can we have a vision for this relationship that leads to something bigger than anything we've imagined? And because we started that now, I guess about 10 years ago? Yeah, 10 years ago. Our marriage is different. Our children have way bigger opportunities. We are beginning to build and own things together. And that's very different than a marriage about happy and holding hands and fluff. So have a vision for your relationships. And so I even begin to do that even in my friendships. Like, when I align with people, what is the vision for this relationship? Am I in this friendship with the possibility that there's going to be some challenges that will help me grow? And I'm in friendship, in relationship with a person who wants to grow with me as well. So you can begin to have a vision for your relationship. And then the third thing, once you begin to get clear about who you are, and particularly like as you guys are getting clear about who you are, start learning your triggers, guys. Learn what upsets you, what makes you mad, because what you think is them is really a trigger inside of you. Opportunity to grow. Get a vision Once you begin to get that vision, and then three, if you want to improve your relationships, I don't know who watch my videos, but I just want to say it the way I think. Grow the hell up. Like, just if you want to improve your relationships, grow up, emotionally mature, be willing to do the work, be willing to understand that everything is not about you. It's just not about you. And listen to this. Even if the thing that you think is about you in the relationship affects you, like if someone does something that hurts your feelings or offend you, or even if they cheat on you, it's not about you. It feels like it. Now, if you're in a physical abusive relationship, that you got to get out of that. Okay, that is not something you stand firm and you grow in. You get out of there. You always want to protect yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically. But I'm talking about this belief that everything should go your way, and they need to see things your way. And if everyone would shift and change to what you like and stop bothering you and understand that you're having a hard time and my life is difficult and people need to understand. No, people do not. It's not about you. Grow up. Grow up emotionally. Decide that, okay, maybe I'm seeing this from a child's perspective. Children want what they want when they want it. Children pout to get what they want. Children whine. They don't rationalize. They don't see that there's a bigger picture. If you are in relationship with people from that perspective, where you're whining, you're complaining, you blame, you think everything is them and it's never you, you need to grow up. And so in order to have better, healthier, stronger, more loving relationships in 2020, it's your job to grow that up. Plain and simple. There's nothing else I can say. I know it sounds maybe a little harsh to someone who might be listening for the first time, but that's just the truth. That's just the way it is. So one, what are you going to do? You're going to start self-evaluating. Who are you? Who are you bringing to these relationships? What triggers you? What makes you mad? What upsets you? So that you can begin to do that work that's asking you to grow. It's not them, it's you. Who are you? Because in every relationship, there you are. 2, get a vision. Get a bright, big vision for your life, for your relationships, for your work that's not self-centered, but that is about growth and potential and wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Gain a bigger vision for your life and for your relationships. Stop getting stuck on happy, because happiness is not the goal. Wholeness is the goal. And when you begin to move towards wholeness, then you can get to happy. Something to think about. And number 3, grow up. Plain and simple. Be willing to emotionally mature. So emotions are, this is what I'd say emotions are. Emotions are our thoughts in action. So if you are pouting and whining and complaining and thinking that everything is about you, you have these thoughts that aren't healthy, that aren't producing a loving, kind environment for growth. And that's what you're going to need in order to have successful, loving relationships in 2020. So I hope you're willing to do the work. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Say something in the comments if you totally disagree. Let's just stay connected and let's grow in 2020 so that we can have some amazing, loving relationships.